Dante's Inferno, Canto 21. And so we passed along, from bridge to bridge, with other talk, whereof my comedy cares not to tell, until we topped the ridge. And there we stayed our steps a while, to see Malbouge's next ravine, and wailings all vain. And most marvellous dark it seemed to be. For as at Venice in the arsenal in winter time they boil the gummy pitch to cork such ships as need an overhaul, so, not by fire, but by the art divine, a thick pitch boiled down there, spattering the brim with viscous glue. I saw this, but therein nothing. Only great bubbles black as ink would rise and burst there, or the seething tide heave up all over and settle again and sink. And while I stood intent to gaze, my guide, suddenly crying to me, "Look out! Look out!" caught me where I stood and pulled me to his side. Oh, then I turned as one who turns about longing to see the thing he has to shun, dares not and dares, and dashed with hideous doubt, cast to look back and still goes fleeing on. And there behind us I beheld a grim black fiend come over the rock ridge at a run. Wow! What a grisly look he had on him! How fierce his rush, and skimming with spread wing, how swift of foot he seemed, how light of limb. On high hunched shoulders he was carrying a wretched sinner, hoist by haunch and hip, clutching each ankle by the sinew string. "Bridge ho!" he bawled, "our own hell-raker ship! Here's an alderman of St. Zita's coming down. Go souse him while I make another trip for more. They're barraters all in that good town, except Bonjoro, eh? I've packed it stiff with fellows who'd swear black's white for half a crown." He tossed him in, and over the Finty cliff wheeled off. And never did mastiff run so hot and hard on the trail, unleashed to follow a thief. Down bobbed the sinner, then up in a writhing knot. But the fiends beneath the archway yelled as he rose up, "No sacred face will help thee here. It's not a Sergio bathing party. Now then, toes up and dive. Wear hooks. To save thyself a jabbing, stay in the pitch, nor dare to poke thy nose up." Then, with 100 prongs clawing and stabbing, "Go, cut thy capers! Try down there to do subsurface deals and secret money grabbing." Just so, cooks make their scullions prod the stew with forks to thrust the flesh well down within the cauldron, lest it float above the brew. Then, "My good master, better not be seen," said he. "So crouch well down in some embrasure behind a crag to serve thee for a screen. And whatsoever outrage or displeasure they do to me, fear nothing. I have faced frays of this sort before and have their measure." He passed to the bridgehead then. But when he placed his foot on the 6th bank, good need had he of a bold front. For with such furious haste and concentrated venom of savagery as dogs rush out upon some harmless tramp who stops alarmed to falter out his plea, out dash the demons lurking under the ramp, each flourishing in his face a hideous hook. But he, hands off. Ere grappling iron or cramp touch me, send one to hear me speak. Then look you, take good counsel before any of you try to dispose of me by hook or crook. This checked them, and they cried, Send Belzeq! And one moved forward, snarling as he went. What good does he imagine this will do? Dost thou think, Belzeq, that I had bent my footsteps thus far hither, the master said, safe against all your harms, were I not sent by will divine, by fate's propitious led? Let me pass on. 'Tis willed in heaven that I should guide another by this pathway dread. At this the fiend, crestfallen utterly, let fall his grappling iron at his feet, crying to the rest, Strike not! He must go by. My guide called up, Thou cowering there, discreet, hid mousy mouse among the splintery, cracked crags of the bridge, come down, all safe for it. I rose and ran to him, and sure I slacked not speed, for the fiends pressed forward, and grave doubt seized me for fear they might not keep the pact. I pressed close down to my guide from head to heel, cringing and keeping a sharp eye upon their looks, which were by no means amiable. They lowered their hooks for the ready, and, Just for fun, said one, shall I tickle his rump for him? Yes, try it, said another. Nick him and prick him, boy. Go on. But the other devil, the one that stood in diet still with my escort, turned him instant round, saying, Now, Scaramalian, quiet, quiet. And then to us, By this cliff 'twill be found impossible to proceed, for the sixth arch lies at the bottom, shattered to the ground. If you're determined to pursue your march, follow the bank. A span quite free from block or fall lies handy to reward your search. I'm sending a squad your way to fork and fix any rash soul who may be taking the air. Why not go with them? They'll play no tricks. Stand forward, Hacklespur, and Helkin there, he began, and Harrowhound as well, and your Decurion shall be Barbager. Let Libicock go too, and Dragonel, Guttlehog of the Tusks, and Grabbersnitch, and Raving Rubicant and Farfarel. Take a good look all round the boiling pitch. Seat these two safe as far as to the spit that runs unbroken on from ditch to ditch. Sir, I don't like the looks of this one bit, said I. No escort, please. Let's go alone, if thou knowest how, for I've no stomach for this. Where is thy wonted caution? They frown, they grind their teeth. Dost thou not see them? Lo, how they threat mischief with their brows drawn down. But he, I'd have thee firmer minded. No, let them go grind and gnash their teeth to suit their mood. 'Tis the broiled souls they glare at so. They, by the left bank wheeling, chose their route. But first, in signal to their captain, each thrust out his tongue, and taking the salute, he promptly made a bugle of his breech.